Yeah. We're started. Hello, everybody. It is I, your boy, AwesomeCuz13. And today we're doing a RoDL video where we're gonna just kind of. I'm in charge of power tiering, so I decided to have co-hosts this time. We have Dr. O'Coffee.
Hi, it's me, O'Coffee.
And we have Volt, who is currently muted. So yeah, we're gonna basically just kind of go over each team. We're gonna discuss strengths and weaknesses, and at the end of the day, we're gonna have a tiering list. So yeah.
And
Let's.
Then me and A13 will alternate talking and stuff.
Yeah, it took us 2 days to write 2 days to write 15 pages worth of positives and negatives.
Also, there is one team without a logo, so we just used a PNG of another team to represent that team.
Yeah, it is their current, what's it called, mascot. So.
Mascot.
So, talking about the mascot, we actually got that team first, the Athabasca Miltanks. Sit back, ladies and gents, because here we go. They have, with Kartana, Entei, and Jellicent, this team has a very solid and very aggressive core. With Jellicent being able to eat water-type attacks and therefore preventing Scald Burns, it gives two hard-hitting teammates the chance to come in and wreak havoc. Entei will most likely be sporting a choice band, while Kartana might deviate between Band-Aid, Swords Dance, and the Scarf set, also known as the Paper Plane set. Silvally, acting as a chameleon, as you can see right here, allows this coach to patch up many weaknesses and even give him a one-up against opponents with its diverse move pool, allowing it to break holes in most defenses. Alchemy tends to provide support, while Diancie can support it with screens, and Assault Vest to let 8 hits, and its natural bulk allowing it to take most hits rather effectively. With rocks pressuring the opponent, it will lead to Diancie picking up several KOs on Flying Mongs thanks to its signature move Diamond Storm. We have Miltank, a Pokemon who is great for spreading status thanks to Body Slam's Paralysis Chance. And it will also getting access to moves such as Toxic, Fire Punch, Ice Beam, and its flinch chances with Rock Slide and Zen Headbutt. Access to Steamroller lets it stop any form of terrain from going up and effectively stopping terrain abusers. Golbat, final Pokemon here, when paired with Eviolite, makes for amazing defog support and is capable of ripping many grass types apart thanks to its flying and poison typing and stat. Dragonair, the final pick on this team, will most likely see very little usage thanks to its own frailty, though with access to moves such as Fire Spin and Toxic, it makes for a poor man's Heatran that's capable of KOing a Toxapex with either Thunderbolt or Thunder. Now, there are several hindrances and weaknesses to this team. The one issue that tends to go unchecked is electric types, because it's the only walls that want to eat that are Diancie with the Assault Vest and Silvally Ground, which after becoming extremely whittled down will be unable to do their job of checking them. It'll take reads. Hazards going up will definitely affect this team a lot, even with Golbat as a defogger and Silvally hanging in there too. Pokemon like Como-O can come in and just start dealing damage because its stab is neutral against Diancie. And of course, Poison Jab and Iron Head can also effectively deal with these two Pokemon. Last but not least is another major lack of pivoting, because its only two pivoters are in the form of Golbat and Silvally. Other than that, he relies very, very heavily on switching Pokemon he has to be very aggressive with his plays. So next we have the Austrian Arkanis. Yeah, go for it. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Next we got the Austrian Arkanis, coached by Maxo, which I think that's how you pronounce it. He had second pick, and with that he picked up Tornadus Therion. With its amazing speed and reliable recovery and regenerator plus U-turn, it's practically unkillable. Keyword practically. But it surprisingly has amazing synergy with the next two picks being Milotic and Cobalion, thanks to Milotic's access to Flip Turn and Cobalion's Volt Switch, which I have no clue why it gets. It's a clear core that relies on heavily getting its effective walls and sweepers in safely. Nidoqueen, with its average bulk and access to Sheer Force, Toxic Spikes, and Stealth Rock, makes it a perfect for either revenge killing, if scarfed or making a correct read, or setting up hazards to further break away at a bulkier team. Flapple's Hustle ability gives an immediate 110 attack stat, a further boost in exchange for accuracy, which can be switched for Ripen or Gluttony thanks to its access to Dragon Dance. Also, Cinch Scorch is there. It is a really good sleeper pick, with its access to Coil to boost its core defenses, and access to Flash Fire, stopping opponents from clicking Fire Move and fear of boosting its Fire Lash, while punishing U-turn users if it chooses to run Flame Body instead, while White Snow prevents any stats from being lowered so it can effectively set up. RoDL Base gives the team another Volt Switch user to increase its pivoting, and can go into Cavalion for a good revenge kill, or an easy +1 if you predict a Dark type move. Sneasel is also there to knock off an item. Talking about Sneasel, this first Formon is honestly incredibly good at knockoff. I mean, preventing Ghost types from running Switch in, that's one of the best things, especially with Pokemon like Spectrier in this metagame. Finally, we arrive at Wigglytuff, which is capable of setting up rocks and punishing defoggers, with competitive, while Frisk allows it to see what the Pokemon is carrying. Now for the negatives. One of the main pivots is gone, or Rotom dies. The main defogger becomes Tornadus Therian, which is more of an aggressive set and won't allow it to recover safely because it's taking all the hazard damage. All in all, it relies way too heavily on pivots to remain healthy enough for the long game.
Thank you, Coffee. Now, here we have the Calexico Blazikens. With Heatran as a Stealth Rocker, Trapper, and Taunter, they can be either a very heavy hitter or extremely solid wall. Dragonite, in part with Multiscale, is a very decent offensive Pokemon, mostly thanks to Dragon Dance, while also having a newly buffed Stab and Dual Wing Beat. Its amazing move pool allows it to tear through anything that would dream of walling it, while also getting access to priority moves such as Extreme Speed and Aqua Jet, allowing it to pick up easy KOs on Sash Pokemon. Dual-typing Ghost Fairy Mimikyu is a rather feeble yet surprisingly good Pokemon thanks to Disguise, access to Swords Dance, and even being capable of spreading status and taking neutral damage from knockoff. Access to Drain Punch allows it to scare away Steel types, while its Fairy typing allows it to pick up KOs on Dark types and even KOing Ghosts with Shadow Sneak or Sucker Punch respectively. Tangrowth. Tangrowth is a perfect wall with its meaty defensive stat, and with access to Leech Seed, Knockoff, and Toxic, lets it whittle away at Pokemon that would usually attempt to wall it in return. Umbreon is a very good pick, synchronized Heal Bill allowing it to status opposing Mons while healing itself and the team it runs with. Access to Foul Play lets it punish any Pokemon that would try to raise its attack stat and effectively prevents Pokemon from attempting so. Quagsire's Unaware provides much needed boost prevention while also helping in spreading status with Toxic. Surfetch'd has access to Grassy Glide while also wielding First Impression, two powerfully brutal stabs that only serve to make this grounded Lancer even more effective at wall breaking and picking up KOs, especially when paired with a grassy terrain Pokemon such as Thwackey, and access to Scrappy allows it to muscle past Go types with little resistance. Now, talking about Grassy Glide, Thwackey, with its Stab Grassy Glide, access to grassy terrain granting it passive recovery to it and its team, and grassy terrain boosting the powers of its grass attacks while also nullifying the power of Earthquake, makes it a very solid pick thanks to its all-around effectiveness. Last but not least, we have Raboot, a Pokemon with amazing wall-breaking capabilities thanks to Libero giving it reliable stab on any move, which makes it extremely menacing with Choice Band. Now, there is a very clear negative on this team, and that is that the user didn't know if he wanted to run Stall or Balance. His defoggers are Dragonite and Surfetch'd, two Pokemon known for their offensive pressure. His only pivots are Raboot and Thwackey, another set of physically offensive Pokemon. This Pokemon has a weakness against Dragon types, as the Heatran switch is almost always obvious and allows this opposing Dragon type to click a Ground type move. All in all, defensive Steels and offensive Dragons come in and wreak havoc if not planned for.
Now, coming in fourth, well, not ranking, but yeah, fourth one, is Detroit Shock, hosted by Andrew, aka Bosa. His first pick was Aegislash, with two forms switching in between special attack and special attack, with defense and special defense, gives it a very intimidating niche, because you have to gamble which attack you're going to go against it. So with that, it can be a whatever speed through a wall. Aegislash is also able to pick up KOs while being able to effectively wall fairy types. Then Volcanion, with its typing of water fire with water absorb, and it also gets access to steel, fairy, and ground type moves. Its signature move being a more powerful Scald makes Volcanion no laughing matter. This doesn't even include the fact it gets defog or has the ability to run a physical set. Volcanion is a very solid Pokemon in both taking and delivering hits. This generation delivering Xurkitree back to the masses has given the metagame a much more intimidating electric type movers, save Regieleki. An intimidating move pool, access to Calm Mind, and an extremely threatening special attack set of 173. Xurkitree is capable of cleaning up with and without beast moves. It's really something you have to prep for. Now, to talk about Zapdos Galar, which from now on will be referred to as Galados. It is an amazing physical sweeper and pivoter and wall breaker, thanks to Thunder's Kick's secondary effect to 100% decrease their defenses. And a diverse move pool and capable of stopping whatever it thinks can step in, and Brave Bird being enough to tear through most walls. Galardos wastes no time laying with teams with Choice Band or a Choice Scarf. Then, Druddigon, the Cran Dragon. It is a solid wall, setting up hazards and delivering damage with Rough Skin, or being completely offensive with Sheer Force, boosting its 120 attack stat. Its ability to spread status is nothing to make light of. Lair will invite any of its faster teammates to come in, while Toxic will rack up when paired with Rough Skin. Rabombi, the usual lead, is capable of setting up webs to slow the opponent Pokemon down, while also being able to paralyze and get off good damage before keeling over. Cordilli is a solid pick, thanks to Storm Drain and its strange rock grass typing and access to reliable recovery with Synthesis and Recover. It makes it really hard to prep for. And it's capable of dealing with bulkier fairies like Sludge Bomb and Sludge Wave, while also being able to set up a sub for itself. Now, next is Croc Rock, the last pick. Its ability to get Moxie in makes its sweeping prowess will intimidate opposing physical hitters from getting too carried away. It's the perfect ability, even though it's an Eviolite Mon. And with such support moves as Taunt and Roar, Lickitung, and it just becomes an amazing threat, even though it's not that bulky. Lickitung is actually the last one on this list. With natural immunity to Intimidate and Cloud9 disrupting weather teams, and an insane move pool, amazing natural bulk, and access to Wish, Lickitung is honestly one of the best Pokemon, even being like a 1 or 2 pointer. But there is issues with this team. 3 of the team's heavy hitters are O-code by ground type moves, and Galardo's switch is too obvious for it not to click a rock or electric type move to pick up a KO. Ground does neutral damage on everything else, especially if things hit rather harm on the team too, thanks to only special defense walls being Cordilli and Aegislash in shield form.
Thank you once again, Coffee. Now here we have our another coach, Endless Electric, coached by Volt.
You can say hi.
You can say hi, Volt.
Did he leave?
No, he's muted.
I am still here. I just didn't have.
Alright, I don't know if you can hear it on my end, but he just said hi. It was very faint. So here we have Endless Electric. This team has a very solid core in Excadrill, Latias, and Comfey thanks to the ever-present power of Steel Dragon Fairy, a core that just naturally synergizes well. With Excadrill and Latias providing hazard removal, and Comfey providing a niche in support thanks to Heal Bell and Defog. Latias' natural bulk and access to Wish and Healing Wish allow it to bring in a teammate to get some much needed HP back to further improve a frail Pokemon's longevity. With Sandaconda being able to set up Sand for Excadrill, Excadrill can come in and just annihilate whatever stands in its way with either Sand Force or Sand Rush. Sandaconda also provides a very necessary paralysis spreader, which allows other team members to come in and either benefit off a potential para or outspeed a once threatening beast on the opposing team and pick up an easy KO. Moltres provides more defog support while also acting as a pressure stall Pokemon or punishing U-turn abusers with Flame Body while recovering damage with Roost. Mantine is a Pokemon that once again provides defog support, amazing bulk, and great status spreading while also having reliable root recovery in Roost and Aqua Ring. Sableye acts as a sort of wall, being able to taunt opposing setup Pokemon and walls while spreading more status. Stoutland abuses the sand set up by Sandaconda and is able to naturally hit ghost types with Scrappy and natural access to dark moves such as Crunch and Bite. Last but not least, we have Munchlax. A very formidable Little Cup Pokemon thanks to Thick Fat allowing it to come in on Ice and Fire type moves, practically nullifying them with Rest. Access to counter allows Munchlax to punish anything that would switch in from a U-turn, while Body Slam lets it spread paralysis should it choose. The most glaring issue of this team presents is its lack of bulkier pivots. As of now, the only pivots this team provides is U-turn from both Moltres and Comfey, two Pokemon that excel in longevity by themselves, but together, these two rely on teammates to keep them healthy and keep hazards at bay. Another weakness is Bisharp, just a Pokemon thanks to its insane coverage. This team also tends to rely on Sand and Pivot, meaning that should the setter or one of the pivoters go down, the whole team will just fall apart.
Now, we got the Grayling Vikavolts, coached by Kosak. Coming in with a Steel, Ice, and Dragon Core. This team has amazing coverage and wall breakers, with its first pick being Galar Darmanitan, one of the first Gen 8 Pokemon to immediately go into Ubers. Its Gorilla Tactics effectively gives it a free choice band, and is capable of running whatever item it wants to, but will most likely be seen with a Scarf or a Band to deal damage or to get out of sticky situations with U-turn. Then Dragapult, one of the best dragons in the game before Crown Tundra, with an amazing speed stat of 142, with an attack stat of 120 and 100 special attack. This Pokemon is capable of hitting hard and fast, while providing support with status and Hex. And access to U-turn allows it to either invite in a wall or Galardon. Now, we can move on to Skarmory, one of the bulkier steel types. It was gifted the mood Body Thrust this generation, and now does double damage thanks to Iron Defense. With sturdy and reliable recovery, it can be seen as an issue to those without anything to hit it on the special side. Alongside the rocks, it gets Spikes and Toxic, and the ability to switch out with U-turn. And, yeah, I think it's an overall really solid Pokemon. And Gardevoir was picked up. Gardevoir's Synchronize ability allows it to pass on status, while Trace allows it to copy more powerful abilities and become a potential sweeper in the best case scenario. Access to Taunt, Trick Room, Wish, and Knockoff allows it to play a more supportive role, alongside moves like Reflect and Light Screen to maximize its effectiveness on the team. It really works supportively, but also offensively, like Buffalant. With Reckless, it allows it to spam its most powerful normal type move, Head Charge, which gives the base 120 power and extra. Scizors is also really effective at stopping grass types, which boosts its already insane attack, and will allow it to KO in return with either Mega Horn, Aeroids, or Poison Jab. Access to Ground, Dark, Dragon, and Rock type moves makes it incredibly versatile and unstoppable in the right hand. Now, we can move on to Golisopod. Its emergency exit makes it a relatively safe switch, while knowing it can abuse its aggressive priority and first impression in Aquajet, thanks to its incredible base 1-5 stat. Skunk, though, it can be negative as well. Skuntank can play any role from a perfectly viable wall to a rather aggressive hazard setter, thanks to its access to Toxic and Aftermath to whittle down whatever KO'd it with a contact move. And yeah, coming in last, Rhydon can set up hazards while choosing to abuse Curse and Rockhead, which gives it the power to stand a very powerful double edge. Now, the thing is, the team just suffers facing bulkier ice types, as Gallardon's too frail to eat a hit, and the rest of the team takes either neutral or super effective damage into it. Raichu Alola tends to run through his team thanks to its mood pool and able to outspeed Scarf Dawn without needing a Scarf on itself, only relying on terrain. And then our lead Golisopod, whenever you switch it in and if it's under 50, it getting switched out can be a real pain in the ass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Talking about very powerful Pokemon, here we have the team, the Helgen Hydreigons. Salamence, with a now boosted stab and dual wing beat, is more than capable of tearing through teams thanks to access to Dragon Dance and Moxie, or it could choose to run Intimidate and give itself a free chance to set up should the opponent choose to switch. And that is a very diverse move pool and a very scary special attack stat of 110. Following the Flying Dragon, we have Thunderous T, a Pokemon capable of stopping electric type attacks thanks to Volt Absorb and pivoting in and out thanks to U-Turn and Volt Switch. With a terrifying special attack stat of 145 and a speed stat of 101, this Pokemon is nothing to scoff at thanks to its diverse move pool. Next up is Weezing-Galar, a bulky wall with access to abilities such as Levitate and Neutralizing Gas. It helps the team out by providing defog support and is capable of removing items with corrosive gas and clearing stats with Clear Smog. Misty Surge is also extremely beneficial to any grounded Pokemon on the team, as it prevents status from being spread throughout his team. Shell Smash White Herb, a combination that once belonged to Caracosta, now belongs to the ever-intimidating Blastoise with access to moves such as Focus Blast, Flip Turn, and Water Spout. Blastoise is now more threatening than ever, even without a Mega Evolution. Access to moves such as Rapid Spin, Aqua Jet, Fake Out, and Haze allow it to play a more defensive role while still whittling and preventing opposing Pokemon from moving with Fake Out. Following up is Bronzong, Pokemon with Heatproof or Levitate, depending on what you need at the moment. One of the few Pokemon capable of neutralizing and even cancelling out its own weaknesses thanks to these abilities. Bronzong is a rather surprising powerhouse thanks to its defensive stat that allows it to abuse Body Press while giving slower teammates an easier time with Trick Room. Aggron is one of the Pokemon that would benefit greatly from the Trick Room setter, which just so happens to be on the team. With Rockhead Stab, Head Smash, and Heavy Slam, Heavy Metal, Aggron is capable of muscling through teams thanks to its amazing attack and defense stat, while also being able to play more defensive roles such as sending up hazards and rolling out threats. Kabutops, the swift swimming heat pick, benefits greatly in and out of rain thanks to weak armor giving it a much needed speed boost, while also being able to set up rain and pivot easily using Flip Turn. Access to Knockoff, Stone Edge, and Leech Life helps keep this Pokemon healthy and able to pick up some easy KOs. Type Null, a Pokemon with amazing coverage, decent all-around stats, and the inability to be crit thanks to battle armor allow it to be either a wall or aggressive momentum Pokemon. Finally, we have Meowstic Male, a prankster-abusing Pokemon that can set up screens, weather, and terrain while faking out and paralyzing opposition. Now, there is a big issue with this Pokemon, and that it is that nothing on this team wants to really switch into an Ice-type attack. Freeze Dry does neutral to super effective damage, while Ice Beam hits hard and fast. Another issue is the predictability of the team needing to rely heavily on hard reads or risky plays to get a Pokemon out safely onto the field. All in all, a solid team with few issues, one of them being how easy it is to read.
Now, the Hellblaze Volcaronas with the coach, Lucas, or just Lucas. With a sturdy tower of Dragon Steel Fairy, this team excels at stalling out the opposition thanks to picks such as Zygarde 50, Celesteela, and Clefable for safe witch passing. Zygarde's ability to nullify flying types with 1,000 arrows and being able to trap Pokemon with 1,000 waves turns this once unthreatening Gen 6 staple into the bane that was banned in Gen 7 OU. Access to Rest and Coil with its already threatening defense stat allows this Pokemon to run a specially defensive set that will allow it to live for eons, or a super offensive set to kill everything in its path. Celesteela's ability to spread status, become bulkier with Beast Boost, and help other teammates recover HP with Leaf Seed, it makes it extremely versatile and incredibly hard wall to break through. Now, we arrive at the Fairy type, Clefable. It's capable of pushing teammates back to full health, teleporting out with no issue, removing any status on itself, and fellow teammates with aromatherapy or heal well. Following up, Regidrago. Dragon's Maw with Dragon Energy being enough to cause a nice pass for prior walls to come in and do what they do best. And even though it doesn't have coverage, it's still a heavy hitter. And Lantern, who wields either Volt Absorb or Water Absorb, turns the battle into a guessing game, while allowing it to use Scald, Thunder, or even Volt Switch to get out of sticky situations, while clicking either Dazzling Gleam or Ice Beam on whatever it's meant to take care of. Torkoal, the reliable Sunsetter, is capable of removing hazards while using Solar Beam to get rid of the opposing water types, clicking Eruption to deal massive damage. Paired with Shiftry, a Pokemon of removing hazards and items, which you can run either special or physical set, as the Chlorophyll pairs perfectly with Torkoal to make it get a fast defog off, and it allows you to outspeed most of the opponents. And we arrive at the coffee table, Avalon, and it's a reliable physical wall with moves such as Body Press and Avalanche that allows it to take advantage of its high defenses and low speeds, while also getting access to Recover and Rapid Spin. To round it all out is Behemoth, a powerful special attacker that is for 1 point, that can also set Trick Room for itself or other to help catch up weaknesses, thanks to an exquisite move. Though the biggest issue to this team is, yes, another ice type weakness. Even with Torkoal on the team, his team takes ice damage rather neutrally or super effectively. Another glaring issue is Regidrago's delusioning move pool. That's how hindering it is. And while Dragon Energy and Dragon Ball make it super powerful, it's completely walled by Fairy and Steel types. Also, Torkoal, setting up Sun's nice, but it puts a solid dent in most of the teammates because they don't want to switch into Sun Boost and Fire types.
Mm-hmm. So Charizard is going to have a field day if it's running the appropriate set here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next...
Steel is going to die.
Oh, hey, next is me. My team. Okay, this is
clearly
awkward.
The best team in the whole draft, as you will clearly see.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Alright, so... starting with Glastrier, this Pokemon has a massive attack, health, and defense stat with a attack stat coming in 4th. With strong Ice Stab and insane coverage, Glastrier hits slowly but strongly and is capable of putting major dents in walls. Following up is Keldeo, a water type with fast pivot, access to priority with Aqua Jet, and a special attack set of 129. Keldeo is no My Little Pony. Access to Hydro Pump and Secret Sword allow it to mow the way for teammates to pick up KOs while using Flip Turn to switch out rather easily. Next up is Victini, a base 100 in all stats Pokemon and capable of missing most moves thanks to its ability Victory Star. Thanks to this, moves such as Bolt Strike, Zen Headbutt, and V-Create all hit a lot more often than preferred. With access to U-Turn and Expanding Force, Victini is proof that all you need is a lucky star to guide your path. After this is Zapdos Cantonian, a Pokemon that has managed to stay OU for 8 entire generations. Access to U-Turn and Volt Switch allow it to switch in and out freely, while Static stops opposing Pokemon from getting too comfortable with their own pivots. Its typing gives it an amazing immunity to ground while taking neutral damage from electric, which benefits the bird a little too much. Next we have Buzzwole, another Ultra Beast gifted to the world. Has a strange typing and bug fighting, which gives it a quad weakness to flying, but that doesn't really matter much thanks to its insane move pool and meaty defense. Sceptile, thanks to Beast Boost, it can be either an offensive wall or offensive wall breaker. I almost forgot about that. Sceptile, with access to Dragon Dance this generation, Swords Dance, and Unburden, this Pokemon is capable of breezing past several major threats once it procs Unburden. Corsola is a semi-decent wall capable of setting up hazard and spreading status and getting HP back with Regenerator and Recover. Torracat is a helpful pivot with Parting Shot and U-Turn, allowing it to come in and intimidate opponents. And then last but not least is Riolu, a prankster user capable of setting up Rain and copying other moves. Now, as cool and as heat as his team looks, you can clearly see where the issue lies, as his team has a very obvious draft first, think later mentality. Nothing on the team is defensive enough to take hits except Zapdos and Glastrier. Glastrier is a better Trick Room sweeper, but due to its typing, it can't even switch into hazards without taking massive damage from rocks or spikes. Even with hazard removal, this team suffers once Zapdos falls. All in all, this team is incredibly unstable.
Oh wow, look what team we got up next. Indianapolis Molts.
Oh,
Great
that's your
name.
team, isn't
Wait.
it, Coffee?
No, what? It probably looks like a team that would be hosted by a very smart and handsome individual.
This is Chris for
wait,
Dr.
wait,
Coffee.
Wait. Yeah, it is my team. Tapu Lele returns to the Shin once more, and while not getting Expanding Force, is still incredibly threatening thanks to its base 130 attack, special attack stat, with Psychic Surge preventing priority revenge killing and boosting its already terrifying psychic moves. Tapu Lele is a force of nature, being able to capable of shredding through teams with no psychic resist. Access to Calm Mind allows it to set up and become a threatening wall breaker. Next up is Halucha, the fine fighting type that's usually paired with a terrain setter, which it is, and able to proc its own Unburden by using the terrain seed, which it will, with new stab and Brave Bird in close combat while retaining access to Sword Stand. Halucha is a new breed of terrifying this generation. Following suit is Darmanitan with sheer force, and the now buffed Zenyu Darmanitan, getting access to Expanding Force. This Pokemon is both reckoned with in and out of Trick Room, and with Expanding Force, there could be some Darmanitan. Could you be even more useful than we thought? Serving as always, Gastrodon! Amazing Pokemon. With Storm Drain, to boot its special attack stat, while Sticky Hold guarantees it never loses items, while even choosing to run Sand Force if the team needs it, whether abusing Sand Sweeper. Its dual type covering of Water and Ground allows it to soak up mini hits, while gaining access to reliable recovery and, well, recover. Lets it stay alive for much longer than possible. Coming in with a lance in honor is no longer than a Skelly, a slow yet bulky Pokemon with an incredible attack set and insane coverage with moves such as Close Combat, Razor Shell, and Razor Shell to get a couple kills in. Girder, a reliable defogger and a good status stopper with good bulk thanks to Guts, Sheer Force, and Iron Fist, boosting its insane attack. While reliable recovery and Drain Punch allows it to get its HP back, and the Elemental Punches allow it to break through walls. Taunt allows Girder to stop switch-ins from setting hazards or recovering, while either forces a switch or a sack. Togetic follows soon after, capable of setting up screens and whittling down the opponent with poison and flinch hacks, while Wish, Roost, and Soft Boil allow it to recover HP while providing default support. Blossom is a powerful Quiver Dance sweeper, while also being able to run a bulky set thanks to moves like Strength Zap, Leech Seed, and Toxic. It's pretty much a better Celesteela. I'm not lying. It can also learn fighting types to bait an easy KO, and only to surprise them with Moonblast and pick up a KO instead. Finally, we have Carkol, a Pokemon capable of setting up hazards while using Gyro Ball and Skull to wreak mayhem. Rapid Spin allows it to move hazards, while Willow stops physical attackers, even being able to use Flame Body to punish physical hitters for getting too close, and Slash Fire to stop the fire moves. Then coming in with an offensive sweeper is Arceus. Even though it has an awful ability, it can outspeed and do great damage, and possibly get a couple KOs. Now, even though this team is really fantastic and nothing could beat it, it technically does have a weakness. That's not really a weakness, but yeah, sure. This team's biggest strength and Lele Haluchos is also its biggest weakness, as Psychic Terrain protects everything save Halucha, Archeops, and Togetic. That gives the opposing Pokemon a chance to revenge kill or status these terrifying flying types.
Alright. Coffee,
totally
you've got a very,
unbiased.
very solid team, I'll give you that.
Totally unbiased, by the way.
Totally unbiased.
Totally unbiased.
Alright, well here we have the Maryland Litwicks. Tapu Koko allows the team to be immune to sleep while letting loose some powerful electric type attacks thanks to its ability Electric Surge. The fact that it gets Brave Bird allows it to deal with the Mungus and other bulky grass types. Its pivots are in the form of U-Turn and Volt Switch. All in all, a very handy Pokemon to have. Next up on the list is Ferrothorn, a defensive OU staple that has great synergy with Koko, as Koko can take care of defogging hazards and take care of Pokemon that would otherwise stop Ferrothorn from setting up its hazards and being the wall it's supposed to be. Next we have Drapion, a Taunt Setter and Toxic Spikes handler capable of removing items to stop opposing teams from getting too comfortable. Flygon, the ground dragon type with Levitate that counters most ground weaknesses while having a base 100 attack and speed stat, and amazing priority and first impression, gets access to Dragon Dance, which allows it to outspeed any threats at +1 while dealing comfortable damage for its team to come in and pick up an easy KO. Following suit is Primarina, a solid pick that has access to Flip Turn and Liquid Voice, boosting the power of its normal type moves, which turns it into a terrifying special sweeper. With a diverse move pool, decent bulk, and access to priority with Aqua Jet, Primarina is a solid pick all around. Hitmontop, wielding either Intimidate or Technician, is great for clearing hazards and wields terrific priority in Fake Out and Mach Punch, while Rapid Spin allows it to clear away hazards. Triple Axle is given a nasty boost by Technician, allowing Hitmontop to pick up a easy KO on any grass or flying type trying to come in. Mesprit is a great pick, having 105 in everything except HP and speed. A versatile move pool that allows it to pivot out and remove items makes it extremely solid as either support or a dedicated attacker. Licky Licky is just a better Lickitung, able to use leftovers over the much needed Eviolite that Lickitung uses. Now, the most glaring issue is this team's ground and fighting weakness. Even with Primarina, a well-timed Poison Jab will rip through it. Ground tends to be able to 1v1 Flygon as it has nothing to hit opposing ground types, and with Prima gone, everything takes damage. And before someone says Mesprit is a Psychic type, therefore fighting types won't really hurt it, well, most fighting types tend to carry a Dark type move to handle Psychic and Ghost types that will try to wall it. So all in all, fighting types just kind of run through this team.
Next, we got the Mississippi Morpekos, or should be called the Hangry Hamsters. Spectre is the first pick, which is a good pick. And having a decent, I said decent, but insane attack stat and speed stat. Grimnay helps it boost out its already insane special attack stat for each KO it gets, making it much more offensive, especially with its special attack Moxie. Arcanine is always a solid pick, serving as either a wall or an all-out attacker, thanks to its amazing attack, special attack, and speed stats, helping it cement into its place as a 7-pointer. With overall bulk, a way to get rid of its own weakness being burn up, an easy pivot with teleport, and reliable recovery with Morning Sun. Arcanine is a problem child for those who don't prep for it. Coming in next is Grimmsnarl, the favored screen setter, thanks to Dark Fairy typing with access to Prankster and an attack set of 120. This Pokemon can serve either as an all-out attacker or as support set. With bulk up, this Pokemon is able to raise already meaty attack to the next level while giving it a much-needed defense boost. Access to Taunt allows it to shut down opposing walls, so it can cleave its way with either Darkest Lariat or Spirit Break. Next up is Swampert, who's given Flip Turn this generation. Thanks to the new pivot move, it can serve as a reliable wall or an offensive threat to take access with strong ground stab. Earthquake. Its underground makes an impressive wall, and with Damp, it prevents the opposing Pokemon from taking it out with one big explosion or self-destruct. Even if it lacks defensive investments, it can still hit rather well. It can still hit rather well. Heracross, the big bug himself, has access to the most terrifying abilities in Guts and Moxie. With amazing coverage and knockoff support, this Pokemon is capable of tearing in bulky teams, while also weakening significant threats by removing their item or nullifying the burn with Gold Guts. Also, Uxie's there. It's one of the bulkier of the three spirits, having access to the same move pool as Brethren, but being able to play a more defensive role thanks to its increased HP and defense stats. Now next, Rotom Fan comes breezing in with its useful electric flying typing and access to levitate and volt switch allows it to come in and out of the battle freely as wind. Taking advantage of default lets this Pokemon play a great support role, one in which it benefits the team heavily. Following is Clefairy, the always hated VGC threat, making his name for herself for here in Draft League, with access to reliable recovery as Soft-Boiled and Moonlight, and providing reliable bulk with Eviolite. And teleporting Wish Passing is a great way to help thanks to its Magic Guard, preventing it from taking any damage from hazards or status. Ferroseed, a smaller Ferrothorn, allows you to set up Leaf Seeds for support, and hazards for even further helping. You can even pass off Thunder Waves to make it so the slower members can pick up hits. Now, the biggest issue so far is that Hazards will reign supreme once his defoggers go down. His only recovery for Rotom Fan is Wish, which means Clefairy has to eat a hit, teleport out, or Rotom Fan has to get a hard switch and take the hit to get the HP back.
Oh, I will go ahead and interrupt you real quick. I made another mistake. I forgot that Rotom gets Pain Split, but even then it's too risky for it to stay in Pain Split.
Imagine using Pain Split on Rotom, though.
True. Oh, right, we forgot to talk about Spectre, another issue for this team.
Yeah, do you want me to go with that, or do you want to complain about the mod?
You can complain about this horse, be my guest.
Okay, this is a My Little Pony character, and you cannot change my mind. It only has ghost type moves, pretty much. What if a normal type gun comes in? Are you gonna mud shot it? Are you gonna Giga Drain it? Like, you can't do anything if their ghost type moves can't do. And it's just, with its special attack stat, it's just completely and utterly wasted.
Yeah, it's
I feel bad for those who picked. I feel kind of bad for those who picked it.
It suffers from the same issues as Wonder Guard Shedinja. Great ability, great typing, great stats, but because of its typing, it just kind of dies. It's a useless ability. Anyways, let's move on to the Nashville Nidokings before we start complaining about every Pokemon. Alright. Here we have the Nashville Nidokings. Another Steel Dragon Fairy Core steps into the Draft League. Melmetal, as the once OU staple, making a return as it drops from Ubers. Thanks to Iron Fist boosting Double Iron Bash, this Pokemon is an absolute menace both in and out of Trick Room thanks to its defense, HP, and attack stat. Following it up is Komo-o, a dragon that was gifted Body Press and its own signature setup in Clangorous Soul, which boosts everything except accuracy and evasion in exchange for its HP. With insane coverage and amazing stats all around, Komo-o can be played either extremely aggressively or extremely defensively. As further support comes Tapu Fini, an amazing bulky water fairy type that can defog hazards, taunt hazard setters, and set up terrain to support its teammates. Next we have Amoonguss, a bulky grass poison type capable of forcing switches thanks to Spore, Sludge Bomb preventing opposing grass types from walling it, and access to Foul Play punishing any would-be wall breakers. Regenerator makes it incredibly long-lived, which pairs nicely with its access to reliable recovery and synthesis. Here we have the copycat himself, Ditto, which is capable of taking on any Pokemon it wishes to be with Imposter while also running circles around the opposition with Choice Scarf. Rhyperior is next, the bulky ground rock type solid with solid rock and a solid defense, allowing it to eat most hits and fire off extremely powerful earthquakes and stone edges thanks to its massive attack stat. Access to rocks makes this Pokemon play a very versatile defensive role to the point where it will switch in to eat most hits for its team members and most likely never switch out. Next we have Colossal, a very threatening sweeper thanks to access to Steam Engine and Flash Fire, while being able to run a more defensive set with Flame Body. All in all, a more aggressive Carkol. Next on the list is Charizard, the fire-flying starter of Kanto. Access to Solar Power allows Charizard's mediocre special attack stat to become incredibly threatening, with a Scarf to boost its speed or Specs to boost its attack stat to fatal levels. Finally, we have Hattrem, a bulky support Pokemon with access to moves such as Nuzzle and Mystical Fire, while also being able to bounce back hazards and heal teammates with Aromatherapy. Now, there are several issues with this team, the biggest one being special attackers. Special attacks are an issue for this team as his only walls are Colossal, certain Como-O stats, and Tapu Fini. Two of these Pokemon have no reliable recovery, while Como-O only gets Drain Punch, which is walled by fairies and ghosts. No Wish Passer to help any of its teammates live long and take damage and last. And lastly, Tapu Fini's terrain is whisked away by its own Defog. Even if the opponent were to click Defog, it would be lights out for Tapu Fini then.
Now, we got the Philadelphia Pidgeys. Unlike the Pidgeys, these Pokemon on here aren't from Route 1. They have a Steel Fairy Dragon Core composed of Scizor, Ninetales Alola, and Goodra, with Rampa being a backup dragon. Scizor hits incredibly hard thanks to Technician-boosted U-Turn and Bullet Punch, while Knockoff lets it play a more supportive role in removing items. Ninetales Alola is nothing to scoff at, thanks to its great speed and special attack, along with access to Aurora Veil and Nasty Plot. Goodra, with its amazing special defense stat and diverse move pool, and Dragon typing, allows it to come in and take a hit while threatening things out. With access to Sap Sipper, it's capable of stopping Spore Spam, and Gooey allows it to slow down faster threats. With the T comes Poltegeist, a Pokemon with Terrace Body to disable moves and weak armor to boost its speed, along Shell Smash and stored power to finish games up with an opposition that lacks a Dark type. Next up is Seismitoad, a water absorber with a ground water typing that can pave the ways with moves such as Ice Beam and Poison Jab. Access to rocks lets it set up hazards, and Poison Jab Touch is a nasty surprise for those who don't expect it. Voltund is the fastest Nuzzle user so far. Gets access to Strong Jaw, and as an ability which only serves to boost its already terrifying biting move pool. Competitive allows it to nullify Intimidate users thanks to Volt Switch, and with giving a hard-hitting electrical pivot, following close behind is Trevenant, with an amazing Ghost Grass type, being able to run abilities such as Frisk and Harvest, while also getting access to the new move Poltergeist. Being able to run Willow Hex allows it to put a significant dents in walls, and access to Destiny Bot and Trick Room allows it to set up for a teammate before taking an opponent down with it. Drampa, the original Berserk Roost abuser, also has abilities to stop grass types thanks to Sap Sipper, and weather type teams are hopeless against his Cloud9, with a very strong stab as Hyper Beam, access to Roost, and overall surprisable. Let's Drampa stay in the field for as long as possible. Next up is Persian Lola, a Pokemon with the ability Rattled, Fur Coat, and Technician. Boosted U-turns make this thing a great overall pivot. And we also have Octillery, the octopus with Sniper and the band ability movie. With a decent special attack stat and Sniper, this Pokemon comes in and deals huge damage. Now, this team suffers from hazard removal. I know, another one, which has to say it has none at all. If you want to count Scizor and Trampa, be my guest. But Scizor is a heavy hitter, and Trampa cannot switch into a fighting, fairy, dragon, or ice type move. The moves that are common here in the Draft League.
Very true, very true. After the Philadelphia Pidgeys, we have the Richmond Rampardos. Gengar is a superb Ghost Poison type with an amazing speed tier and special attack stat, access to Nasty Plot, and a diverse move pool capable of letting it take on anything in its path. Next up is Regieleki, the new Gen 8 powerhouse thanks to access to Transistor and insane speed stat and access to Electro Ball. Incineroar is next. With access to U-Turn and Parting Shot, this Pokemon is a reliable pivot while also hitting incredibly hard thanks to Knockoff, Darkest Lariat, and Flare Blitz. Following Incineroar is Registeel, a decent wall all around thanks to its even out defenses as the third Regi. Seismic Toss, Toxic, and Stealth Rocks allows it to be a long-living issue for those who don't prep properly against it. Aerodactyl gains new life in this metagame, in this new generation, thanks to access to Dragon Dance and New Stab and Dual Wing Beat. Thanks to Roost, Stone Edge, and overall decent speed tier, this Pokemon can be an issue if allowed to set up. Cloyster makes a return with its gimmick of Shell Smash Skill Link. With decent defenses, this Pokemon is capable of being an issue should it choose to run a defensive set. Following this skill linker is another skill link abuser in the form of Chinchino, with access to Triple Axle, which allows it to cover holes in its own team thanks to its offensive pressure. With Pincurchin, a solid attack stat and defense stat allows Pincurchin to play either an offensive wall or defensive hitter. Up next is Scyther, a more powerful Scizor in the eyes of some people, thanks to Stab Dual Wing Beat being boosted by Technician to an almost unholy level. U-turn and knockoff pressure allow this Pokemon to let teammates enter safely while being able to switch out first most of the time thanks to its incredible speed stat. Finally, we have Marshtomp, an Eviolite wielding water ground type that is a significantly less powerful Swampert. Without access to Flip Turn, this Pokemon tends to come in, set up hazards, and wall for days. Now, there is a rather strange weakness to this team. It's Dragon and Ground. This team suffers a huge Dragon weakness, even with Regieleki and Registeel, because Regieleki outspeeds most Dragons. Considering most Dragons have insane move pools, this team just crumbles to a well-placed Dragon. Also, its offensive Pokemon get completely destroyed by Ground types. With Regieleki's terrible move pool, if you have a Ground type, it can't do anything, and your Pokemon could just kill this entire team. Overall, this team's offense is nice, but defensively, it's like throwing a paper plane onto a Macargo without, just paper plane onto a Macargo. Without Wish Pass support, this team's dedicated walls if you wish to count Cloyster and Pincurchin, all tend to die rather quickly to hazard, status, and just super effective at neutral hits. Speaking of hazards, even though they have 4 hazard removers, they are all better offensively. Cloyster is the only one that you could see using it, but if any of the others have it, they're just going to die. You need heavy duty boots on most of this team to make sure it doesn't die coming in, and then the opposing Pokemon kills you if you just defog in its face. If the team has hazards, you either leave them up or make a Pokemon or two completely useless. All in all, this team bites you in the ass.
And now we're on to the Satan spawn of a good team, that is the Virginia Scizors.
Okay. Can I step in real quick?
Yes.
I know I promised to be 100% unbiased, and I will stick to that, but by God does this team look scary.
It really does, and at least you don't have to fight it 2 times.
Right.
2 times.
Ooh, good luck with that, brother. And with that, I give the script to you.
I'm making it finals.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that, brother.
Okay. I didn't have to be rude about it. Oh, okay. Anyways, it has Garchomp, who basically got Dragon Dance thanks to its Swords Dance Scale Shot combo. And Garchomp has cemented a place as a more offensive ground dragon, paired with Corviknight, who provides decent default support and great bulk, and Pivot allows this team to do an all-around job, stepping in and picking up KOs left and right. Paired with them is Volcarona, a blue fire type with insane coverage in Psychic and Giga Drain, easy recovery with Roost, and access to U-turn allows this Pokemon to run either a speedy Special Sweeper or a bulky Sweeper, or a Shipping Pivot. Water types stand no chance in the face of a Vaporeon, who gets access to Flip Turn this generation, and is a bulky Wish Passer now thanks to this. Toxic and Scald allow to pass status freely, putting in most Pokemon on time. Lycanroc Dust comes in to synergize with the team. Hyper Claws boosting the attack stat by 1.3, and its speed tier allowing it to set up fast rocks. Beware with Fluffy, it allows it to abuse its attack and defense stat in exchange for strength stat and in exchange for taking 2 times damage from fire moves. Geodude is Sleep Shredder with access to strength stat, Leech Seed, and allowing it to stay healthy for long amounts of time. Then there's Volibee, the banned Little Cup Pokemon, because it's so annoying. is a hazard removal that's being able to clear away hazards with defog and get out of there with slow U-turn while covering HP with Roost. Now, Lunatone, Hazard Center, a special hitter thanks to its 95 special attack, nasty plot. Greens, what can this thing do since it's a level of, what is it, a 0.1 Pokemon?
0.1 Pokemon.
The steal is one of those. But there's kind of a weakness. Should this player fail to preserve Volcarona, these types can have a little fun dancing on its grave. Beware can switch into Raw Fear being frozen. Most ice types get freeze dry, which can handle Vaporeon pretty easily, but like in Rock Dust, you need an Ice Beam. Corpnet takes neutral damage from ice types, and Garchomp is quad weak. But you know, as long as you keep Volcarona alive, you're gonna be completely fine.
Yeah, that's really the only issue. So, now, should we move on to the second part of the video?
Yes! Tier list!
Tier list. So, we decided to make a tier list instead of actually ranking because, one, a lot of people would be like, why'd you rank me there? And I don't feel like answering those questions.
Which is completely fair.
Yeah, so... A tier, A and B are teams that we suspect. Like, A is basically guaranteed chance to make it to playoffs or has a perfect team.
B is most likely going to make it to playoffs.
Yeah.
C is C is mainly we can see you in playoffs, but we don't completely expect it.
And then D is kind of like, you fucked up. You're not making it at all.
Yeah, which someone yes. But, you know, if you have a D tier team and you make it to playoffs, you got some skill.
If you have a D tier team and you make it to playoffs, feel free to ping me in the server and call me a dumb bitch. I will gladly take that.
Yeah, prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. Do you want me to turn on screen share so you can see what I'm doing?
Oh, yes, sir. Why not?
Alright. So here we have screen. Oh, right.
Okay.
Oh, it's not letting me run it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you... we already agreed that the Scizors are going to most likely make it to playoff.
Yeah. So, I'm thinking we should go, we go 1-13 to that kind of way.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
So, who's next then?
Next would be the Richmond Rampardos in D tier.
Okay, in D tier? Oh yeah, they have a very strong ground weakness. It kind of takes apart the entire team, you know? One well-placed earthquake. There goes literally everyone.
And then for number 2, well, I guess another Pokemon in A is the Hellblaze Volcaronas.
Yes, sir, with a very sturdy core and Zygarde, literally just Zygarde. This thing is running some pretty strong shit with Zygarde, Steela, Clefable. Able to freely Wish Pass, as we stated before. This thing is a definite problem child, and if you have to face him, good luck. That being said, please wish me good luck.
Now, another one in D tier is the Honcho Honchkrows. Give us speed, sir. 13.
Alright, I want to thank my mother. No, I'm kidding. But in all seriousness, I understand why I'm here in D tier. My team has so many weaknesses. The fact that it's a very unstable, almost borderline unusable team, kind of turns me into a one-trick pony. It makes it so that I can't really do much. Like if I want to do anything, I have to trade my life away.
Yes. And for the last A tier Pokemon, we got Bosis and the Detroit Shock.
Yes, sir. Having access to
one of the best logos in the league.
Yeah, having access to possibly one of the 3 or 4 of the heaviest hitting Pokemon with Galardos, it was Galardos, Volcanion, Aegislash, and Xurkitree. Of course, it's the logo.
Yeah.
This team is very solid, very terrifying. It also doesn't help that we forgot to mention this, but Xurkitree gets Tail Glow.
Wait, it does?
Yeah, I forgot that it got Tail Glow, but it gets Tail Glow, so have fun. Whoever has to deal with Bosif and Tail Glow circuitry, have fun with that.
I get another person I fight 2 times, and I'm gonna cry.
I'm sorry.
Okay, next we have another D tier, which is the Maryland Litwicks.
Maryland Litwicks, yes sir, yes sir.
Which Litwick is an amazing ghost type, and no one can tell me otherwise. Just gotta point that out there.
Do you want to explain why they're down here in the D tier with us?
Yeah, give me a second. But yeah, I will. So, with the Maryland Litwicks, trying to pull them up. Holy shit. Yeah, so they're very good, but we talked about the ground and fighting weakness, because ground, every person on their team pretty much has a ground type at this point, which is a very big issue. And then fighting. And for as much fighting type giving elemental punches, it doesn't make it any better.
And even if you don't have a ground type, almost everything in the game now gets access to a ground type move, save Blacephalon.
Yeah.
So who do we got next, brother?
We got next, and we can start off the B tier, is Endless Electric.
Endless Electric.
AKA Volt. Hey, would you like to give us a speech, Volt? Speech.
Team good. Weaknesses though. Dies to stuff. Yes. This is why I have to stay muted for the entire video.
Understandable.
Oh my god, that's actually really deep. I'm crying. It's so emotional.
Well,
unlike my soul after listing the next D tier, being the Grayling Vikavolts.
Ooh.
Now, would you like to explain this one?
Yes, sir. As we explained before, let me find them real quick. Because I have a list put up next to me on mobile. Is that them? Maryland? It's gonna take a bit. Hold on. Ooh, I actually cannot find them.
Yeah, give us a second. Sorry.
Yeah, this is kind of on my. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So while they do have a Steel Dragon Ice Core, a Steel Dragon Ice Core, which is very sturdy, very strong, and they have Dragapult, which can play anything. Galardorm is almost definitely a one-trick pony. Only ever coming into U-turn, only ever coming to finish off weakened Pokemon. It's shitty bulk, excuse my language, but that's really all I can say. It's disgustingly shitty bulk, makes it so that if I were to sneeze in its direction, it would die. Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. Like, people give it praise because of guerrilla tactics, but in reality, it's possibly it's a good Pokemon on paper, but in design, it just loses. Too many weaknesses.
Now, next in B tier is the Athabasca Miltanks.
They don't have a logo, so we have to put in a Miltank.
Yeah, Miltank. But yeah, Miltank. Who needs a logo? Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, what are you gonna do against Kartana, Entei, and Jellicent? Like,
yeah.
Honestly, you can't do jack. You know? Like, even and then you also have Savali in the back. Savali,
Savali's the jack of all trades, ace and none. It's very terrifying to face.
Yeah. And then, sure, with those electric switch-ins becoming, it might not have the best thing to electric, but still, Savali Ground and Assault Vest Diancie still can put in work.
Yeah.
So, it's not like that's too big, and I think it's very comfortable in its B spot. Now, next is our first one in C. It is Scoot's team and the Mississippi Morpekos.
Yes, sir. The Mississippi Morpekos. Let me find them again.
Yeah, no one knows how to spell Mississippi, so that's our issue here.
I had to. There it is. So the reason we're putting them down in C is mostly because of the fact that they're bigger. they willingly drafted Spectre, which is more of a hindrance than it is of help. And I do see that they have like a million status spreaders. But like if you face a normal type, you're fucked. You can't click Hex and pick up an easy KO then and there. Celesteela, just abuses the fact that that the only move you can hit it with is Shadow Ball or Specs, which will let it get off whatever it wants to. It's so disgustingly good. Zygarde too. It clicks Rest and you try to haze it, not haze it, you try to Hex it, you're only doing about like 20% of that.
Yes.
Tragic.
So, as our next team is the Philadelphia Pidgeys, which is the team with Scizor, Ninetales, Alola, and Gruja. This is in... Wait, I think I did it the wrong order. Yeah, sure, just go with it. It's C.
C?
Yeah. It's a very solid Pokemon. Solid Pokemon team. The only issue is it suffers to hazard removal, because, just kind of sucks.
You only have one, right? Two?
Two, being Scizor and Trampa.
Yeah.
So, you can't reliably switch them in. Now, I guess we'll do, two of the other ones to balance them up. So, next, we have Helgen Hydreigons in B.
Yes, sir. A very sturdy core, very sturdy. They didn't have a Steel Dragon core, but they had Thunderous T with its insane move pool, being able to mostly beat things down, Volt switching out. They had Salamence, which was like very, very critical to its very good, basically. It's not God tier because it still has its quad ice weakness, but it's still pretty damn good. All in all, very solid team.
Yeah. Now, in C tier, we have the Austrian Arkanis with Tornadus Therian. While it's still in C tier, I still think it's solid. The only issue is when the main Venusaur Rotom dies, the main defogger becomes Tornadus T, and every single team this time has normally at least like 2 rock setters. At least one, I know for sure. And, you just really... Defog or Rapid Spin is really important in this draft league.
Yeah.
So that is in C, yes. So the next Pokemon team is in B, and it's your boy, O'Coffee, with the Indianapolis Molts. Even though I have the whole psychic terrain thing, but overall, not to toot my own horn, but I'm totally tooting it. I have a very solid team where it's not too incredible, but really not bad. And if you sleep on just one of my Pokemon, then you're gonna be dead.
They can come in. A lot of those Pokemon actually have a lot of hidden potential to come in, and there's also the very.
I had to explain some of them to A13 to get my way up to this spot.
Yeah, I originally wanted to put him in D with myself, but then when he was like, haven't you seen what Blossom does? I was like, oh shit, Blossom's a thing. So he managed to talk his way out of D.
The next two are C tiers. We have Jen's team and the Calexico Blazikens. Hope I pronounced it.
Calexico Blazikens. The reason we put you here in this tier is because, well, it's very obvious that you wanted to draft Stall at the beginning, and then you didn't know what to draft. That you were like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. Like, it's like you had a change of heart. If you're going to play Stall, play Stall. If you're going to play Hyper Offense, play Hyper Offense. But this amalgamation that I can't even call balance, don't play it. Don't try to change your mind last minute. Like, either stick with your plan, or scrap that plan and make a new one. But don't just be all like, oh, I'm gonna have to change plans last minute. That's that's a very fatal mistake, and that's a mistake most first-time drafters do, which is not what you are, Sen. You are a great drafter.
Now, next in C tier, we got the Nashville Nidokings. Very powerful with Melmetal and Como. But yeah, it's very powerful. But the issue is special attacks can kill this team. The only ones that can take a special are Colossal, Como-O, and certain Como-O sets, and Tapu Fini. And 2 of these Pokemon have no reliable recovery, while Como only gets Drain Punch, which is walled by fairies and ghosts. No Wishpapper to help any of these teammates live long and damage lastly. And Tapu Finney's terrain is just whisked away by Defog. So if you want to run Defog, it's just gonna hurt you. And that's the sad truth. But
yeah, doesn't also help that what's it called? That Tapu Fini gets defogged, so it's a double-edged sword right then and there. You want to get these hazards off, but doing so will remove your misty terrain, which means you can now be poisoned, burned, etc., etc.
And poison is not fun on bulky water type.
Nope. But yeah, other than that, this is the tiering.
Yep.
A is we are expecting to see you in playoffs. B tier, we are hoping you make it to playoffs. C tier, you have a chance. And D tier, you're fucked. Yeah, you're not getting out of there.
D tier, you better surprise us and then call me an A13 fuckers in lounge.
Yes, we will give you all credit to do so because we just shit on you basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any last words for us, Coffee, before we end this video?
Yeah. We joke around. Even if your team are bad, it really does rely on the player, you know? You can have the best core in the game and still lose every match. So, you know, this tier list really doesn't matter. It's just kind of a fun thing to do, and these might help you try to find improvements while you can still get your free agencies in and maybe try to trade with other people. And we will be doing another one of these before playoffs.
Yeah.
We talk about all the playoffs teams, and we see if our predictions were right with this tier list. And if not, I mean, call us fuckers in lounge.
Call us fuckers in lounge, please. That'll be so funny.
It will. Like, don't even tell us we're gonna do it. Just ping us
rock.
both and call
Shoot the ping. You see I'm online, shoot the ping and just go fucker. I'll be like, understandable, have a nice day.
Yeah. So,
But
and I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Make sure you follow Coffee over on his Twitch.
And on my YouTube, which hopefully will be linked in the description, unless awesome A13 forgets.
No, I'm not.
Or,
like that.
right?
I won't forget.
And I was here too.
And Volt's here too.
Volt.
We had Volts help us set up. We had basically Volts help us set up what to do. He didn't tell us what to do, but he helped us. He helped us with input on his.
Nobody can tell us what to do. We're too cool for that.
This is my video.
And perhaps for the playoffs tiering and everything, I'll be allowed to be allowed.
Yeah.
We could see by my only bit of talking why I wasn't allowed.
Yeah, we shoved Volt in the basement because he
kept coughing.
Yes, I'm
coughing.
incredibly ill.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, make sure you follow Coffee and Volt on their Twitch and YouTube, which I will link in the description below. Follow me on Twitch, https://twitch.tv/awesomeacus13. And other than that, I will be seeing you guys later. Peace.